Greetings, hello, welcome on an Unoptimized Fool from the closet. Glad you could be here. So I remember us talking about, again, 11.1.7, we're seeing Lorewalking Cho come back and give us 3 cool stories. Now these stories are going to give casuals kind of the rundown of how the major storyline plots that we have inside of The War Within, Midnight, The Last Titan are going, how they originated. And again, it's just catching people up to see what the content's about. Because imagine joining in The War Within, joining at the beginning of the World Soul Saga, and not knowing the major players. So this is a good way to educate players on some of their stuff. And I actually had a video talking about a potential 4th one, talking about the Blood Elves, right? Again, that dives into the Midnight as well too. But we just had an interview, and now I can say that they have at least 38 more of these stories to include inside of this system. So this system, it looks like it's just going to be implemented in 11.1.7, but built upon each patch going forward. Now, why are they going to do this? Now, obviously, World of Warcraft has been out since 2004. And you could even say the Warcraft universe has been here even longer, 10 more years, right? So there's a lot to tell. And think about this, right? Now, again, I joined in 2006. I was a little late to the party. But there's some people who weren't even alive at that point that now play WoW, right? So they joined in maybe a Legion baby, BFA. So I know some people who joined in Dragonflight, and there's probably definitely some people who joined in The War Within. They don't know what happened with the Lich King. They've heard about him probably, unless they've done like Time Walking or, Chromie Time. But as a casual, you're not going to be going through all this content in a couple years, right? We've had 20 years to go through all this content, and they've only been here for 2. So they don't really know what's going on. Legion, what the heck's that? Cataclysm, what happened? They don't even know that the world was transformed during Cataclysm, right? So they're going to be introducing these 38 stories. Now, we don't know what these stories are going to be about, but obviously I'm assuming they're going to be about major lore points inside of World of Warcraft. Nyxia, Lich King, all of these got types of things. Cataclysm, right? Mist of Pandaria, where did all these pandas come from? These stories are going to talk about that, right? Again, it's an easy way, instead of saying, hey, just go through Chromie Time and dive through the whole story. It gets a nice little bite-sized chunk of like, here's what happened during the Cataclysm, if you don't really care. Or, obviously they can go to YouTube, but this is going to be in-game. And again, maybe you'll even shed some more light on some content. So I think this is going to be a perfect system. Again, right now we only have 3 stories confirmed. We know what their settings are. We have a 4th story that potentially is going to be part of that 38. And then obviously we can have either 38 or minus 34 new stories that we have no idea what they're going to be about. But we can assume that they're about the other story points inside World of Warcraft. So this is great. I mean, I covered it on my channel, and again, I want to cover it here in this video, that people just joined this game. There could be new people right now be like, yeah, I think I'm going to play in Midnight for the first time ever. Imagine joining in the middle of the World Soul Saga not knowing anything. So I think this system is going to be a nice, like, hey, I wonder what happened during the Mist of Pandaria. That's weird. Now you can not find out in the in 5 to 10 minutes, get the general know-how of like what's going on in that story. Obviously you won't get the minor details, right? But at least you'll know at least what's going on and kind of grab some lore from that. So I think this will be a good system, and I think it'll be another addition to the time walking system. Again, it's not going to be a major like XP event or anything like that. It's just for the casual saying, who's Illidan? They'll find out who Illidan is. Some people don't know who Illidan is, guys, and that's okay, because, again, this game is so fucking old. But I want to hear your thoughts on this. Maybe they could even expand it to raids, who knows? They did hint at potentially having older raids talked about inside of these stories. But, an optimized fool from the closet. I'll see you guys next time.